So, I wanted to talk about some things that are going on in the insurance industry that you may or may not know.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you. I need a
Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan and I make videos on lifestyle, insurance, and mental health. I also do vlogs, day in the life in the insurance industry, day in the life with a toddler, all the things. So if that's something that interests you, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for your support. All right, so if you don't know me, I'm Keela. I am a property field adjuster in the homeowners department of a major insurance company. I have been doing insurance for a little over 8 years, and I like to just kind of talk about my experiences in insurance, what I'm seeing, and then also kind of give new adjusters or people looking to get into the industry guidance on, how to get in, what's going on, what have you. So today I kind of wanted to talk about some of the trends that I've been seeing over the last few years. It's no secret, we just basically got out of a pan and that changed the trajectory of a lot of jobs, and it just kind of created like a new normal. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that I am seeing, give you guys like some information. Again, these are things that you may or may not know. Definitely go on ahead and stay tuned though if you're interested. Okay, so one thing that I'm seeing a lot in the insurance industry is an increase in remote work. So when I first started in the industry, I was working in an office. I was in a cubicle setting, and it was kind of not like a call center setup, but I mean, our work was on the phone. There were times where I may see customers in person if they were coming in to pick up their check. I did a total loss position, so if the person lived close enough to our branch, they could come in and pick up their physical check. Otherwise, I'd mail it. But that was an office job. There were remote jobs at the time, but I don't feel like it was as like prevalent as it is now. I started working from home in 2017, like towards the end, and that was as a field adjuster in insurance. So that was like my first opportunity to be in a situation where I was able to log on remote, clock in remote, all that stuff. And clearly I liked it because I stayed as a remote worker. I know a lot of people, especially after the pandemic, have been looking for remote work. There were some offices where they were just completely shut down and you couldn't go in. A lot of people lost their jobs, so remote work was really kind of the only way that they were able to still make a living and stay home. A lot of companies are willing to send you the equipment to where you don't even have to like go into anywhere. A lot of times the training is online as well. So what I've been seeing in insurance is a lot of the jobs that we did on the inside are now being offered remote. I think that employers have seen, especially since it's been a few years now, but employers have seen that a lot of times the productivity has not dipped. I would say, if anything, like for me personally, my productivity went up because I didn't have all the distractions of just being in an office. People walking into your cubicle, or you getting up to wander around and stuff like that. A lot of times I'd be home alone because my husband's at work. My son was small, so if he's taking a nap, all I can really do is work. So I was able to get like more done. I feel like I was more efficient, and that is what kind of made me stay home. But I say all that to say that there are a lot of positions right now that are being offered like not in the office. I feel like it's better for the employer in some ways because you're not having to pay that overhead of keeping on the lights, providing like a break room and all that kind of stuff. Everybody can just do this from home. You just simply send them their equipment. Now, I know not everybody feels like remote work is valuable. There are some employers that want you to come back into the office, but I can say that in this industry, it's like a little more accepted. So if you were looking for something remote, I would recommend looking into like insurance type jobs. It's pretty easy to get in entry level. I get asked a lot, like, what experience did I have when I first came in? And I have a background of banking and I worked with vehicles for a while. So all I really had that made sense for insurance was customer service, but you will get trained. So if you're looking for something where you just kind of need that flexibility to work from home, you have a situation where your kids are small and you don't want to put them in daycare. That was kind of my thing when my child was really little. Definitely check out insurance because remote work is everywhere in this industry. So another thing that I'm seeing in the insurance industry is the pay is looking a little better for some jobs. So I always felt like I made a decent amount for the time period. Obviously, when I started, I made way less because I was entry level, but now that I have experience, I can ask for more. So I do think that it is a good job to start out, like for someone that doesn't have experience. It's not one of those jobs that's going to start you minimum wage. Like you'll typically get a little over minimum wage depending on like where you live and what type of insurance you're doing. It's just about kind of doing your research and making sure that you sell yourself and sell your skills. So I would say for the position that I do now, historically, the rate has been a little lower than what I'm getting right now. And not necessarily because they didn't want to pay, it's just that that was just like the times. But I do think that especially with so many people doing like early retirement, so many people going back and getting their certifications and stuff like that, and the job, just to be honest, the job being hard and difficult, a lot of insurance companies have realized that in order to keep quality people, you're gonna have to pay them. So what I have noticed is kind of an uptick in some of the pay ranges, and I'm talking about like 20 to 30% upticks depending on where you live. So if you've been in insurance for a while and you're kind of like looking to see if you can make more money, I think this would be a good time because a lot of places are offering, like better vacation packages, sign-on bonuses, things like that. Like really like ways you can enhance your personal life, with work. A lot of companies have really good like pension plans. Not every company offers a pension, but in insurance, a lot of companies do. You typically have to be vested for a certain amount of years in order to get like the full payout. Obviously, 401k benefits and things like that. Like I will say that I've worked for a few insurance companies and most companies have pretty decent benefits. So that's all included in the pay. Something that if that's important to you, you might want to look into the insurance industry because I feel like they're at a position right now where they do want to pay for good talent. Okay, so the third trend that I'm seeing in the insurance industry is like enhanced technology. Now, this is going to be with every insurance company, but I would say the biggest thing that I'll say, based on my years working in insurance, when I first started, the only way to get paid would be through a check, like a traditional check. So either the check was mailed to you, again, depending on where the branch location is, you could come pick it up in person. If it needs to be expedited, some branches would offer like FedEx or UPS to get it, to your door within a couple of days, as opposed to you having to wait for snail mail. But there are some insurance companies that have technology to where you're able to get a direct deposit. They'll just simply send you a link and then you follow the instructions and you get like a digital payment. I've also seen just like an uptick in like the apps. So like instead of you having to call customer service to file a claim, you can just simply do it from your computer or from your app. There are some people that just simply don't like talking on the phone or they don't want to call in. So it's easy for them to just simply go into an app, type in what they need to type in and wait for somebody to be assigned. You're able to, like for most companies, they have like apps where you can kind of check the progress of your claim. You can upload documents, upload pictures. You can communicate with your adjuster through the app. It's a lot of different things that you can do that were not available back in the day. So I kind of expect to see even more of an uptick for increase in like the technology available to make the customer experience better. I think that insurance is kind of one of those industries where they know they need to grow with the times, and you'll start to see insurance companies that aren't offering certain like technological services are going to start moving towards that so they can kind of like stay competitive in the market, especially with millennials kind of getting older but like being very tech savvy. You've got Gen Z being very tech savvy. A lot of people want to have access to those benefits with the companies that they are patronizing. Okay, so the last thing isn't just in insurance, but obviously, because that's my industry, that's what I'm talking about. But I've seen inflation kind of take a toll on the industry. Now, what I'll say is, and it's like, it's not rocket science, like a lot of insurance companies lost money during the pandemic. I would say like even in California, there was a point where people just weren't really driving like that because one, they were working from home, and two, all the businesses were shut down. So even if you were driving, you were only going to the grocery store or maybe to the doctor. You weren't going out to eat at a restaurant because the restaurants couldn't like be open. You could only do takeout and stuff. So there were a lot less cars on the road. So at one point, I remember getting like a refund almost for like unused premium. And I guess it was just California's way of saying like, hey, we didn't need this cash, and then they just gave us back like a portion of our premium. Now, obviously you still need insurance, but it just wasn't a lot of like, again, just wasn't a lot of driving, which would mean less claims. which would mean, less of other things. So people that were looking for a vehicle or even homeowner insurance, maybe they weren't in a position to do so because they had lost their job or whatever. So all industries kind of took a hit. And now that things are back to somewhat normal, a lot of companies are now raising their rates so they can kind of recoup some of the money that they lost during that time. And insurance companies are no different. So I've seen like premium increases. I've seen services that may have been offered before either not being offered, or you have to do more to get those services, like even with discounts. Sometimes like the discounts aren't as good as they maybe used to be in the past, just because a lot of companies are in a position where they're trying to recoup, from what they lost. So yeah, you can expect to see, if you think rates are high, it's not just you, it's all of us. And a lot of it is because of what's happened over the last couple of years. So hopefully we'll see some relief soon, but I kind of think that things might get a little crazier before they calm down. So just want to kind of touch on that from what I see. All right, you guys, so that is all that I have for you today as far as like trends that I'm seeing in the industry right now. Obviously, as things come about, I will bring them to you, but these were like kind of the 4 things that I could think about off the top of my head that I've been seeing more in like the last couple of years. So I always try to give y'all some education, some little pieces of, information as I get them. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely go on ahead and give me a thumbs up. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already subscribed and you made it this far, please go on ahead and click that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. With that being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super. They turned your bag, it's like I never knew you.